In this week's On It with Stevens Life, we've got an update on the Stevens Bridge construction, find out when those final touches will be put into place, plus a local murder conviction vacated by a Kansas City appeals court. Will give you the new details on the man charged with a decade-old Columbia murder coming up. Facilities officials admit the oncoming inclement weather will have a calming effect on the campus bridge renovations. Thank you for joining us. I'm Angel Mendez. Richard Perkins, the project manager, said both the rain and cold temperatures have and will continue to affect how the masons lay the cast stone and brick, which is the main component of the work remaining on the $570,000 project. But that includes only phase 1 and 2 of the bridge renovations. Perkins said bridge work will continue with phase 3 that focuses more on the overlay work for the new bridge spans, phase 4 that fixes the stamper approaches, and phase 5 that includes the adjustment of the approaches from the LRW and historic quad sides of the bridges. The project works on a hard bid, meaning the dollar amount given to Stevens is what will be paid unless the initial scope of the work changes. Last week, Stevens Security sent out an email to campus warning students about recent sexual assaults in the area. One assault occurred 1 week ago at the neighboring Brookside Apartments near Senior Hall and Columbia Hall Apartments. A report from the Columbia Police Department stated during the early morning hours, an unidentified white male in his 20s entered an apartment through an unlocked door, crawled into bed with a female victim, threatened her with a knife, and sexually assaulted her. Head of Security Tony Coleman said, "These events, partnered with numerous guest policy violations on campus, has led the department to take a zero-tolerance approach when finding unattended male guests in the buildings. So not only will those individuals be removed from campus permanently, but the student responsible for them will be filed with the Student Services Coordinator, where they may lose guest privileges for a period of time. Students are asked to immediately report anything suspicious to campus security by calling 573-876-7299. Of course, call 911 if it's an emergency." And yesterday, students enjoyed a day off from classes to meet with their academic advisors and register for classes for the spring semester. Since last year, the college uses the My Stevens website to register, almost like shopping for classes and adding them to your cart. However, the amount of credits each student has determines what day and time they can officially register. Here's the list. Starting today at 9 a.m., the residential undergraduate seniors with at least 90 credits could sign up for classes. Tomorrow at 9 a.m., those juniors and above with at least 54 credits will register. And on Friday, sophomores with 27 credits or more will sign up. If you missed any of those days, a final registering period for all residential students will open at 9 a.m. on Monday. If you're a graduate and continuing studies student, we recommend visiting the My Stevens website for the registering schedule, as it depends on the student's major to when they're allowed to officially register. And following this week's campus events, On It's Haley Johnson attended a 20s style-themed mocktail party last Friday. And Haley, how did the happening turn out?
Last Friday, IFA hosted its annual trunk show, The Happening. According to the IFA president, Sam Geary, the event had a decent turnout. In its second year, the event brought in around 15 people and raised an estimated $120. Attendees enjoyed a photo booth, candy bar, and mocktails. The trunk show hosted vendors from Mustard Seed, Maven, which is run and owned by a Stevens alum, and pieces from the sustainability class offered here at Stevens. Back to you.
Haley. We also want to mention a few other events to attend in the next week. The Professional Development Committee began collecting Distinguished Teaching Award nominations today in the pit of Stamper Commons. Students have one more opportunity to turn in their nominations from 11:30 to 1 p.m. on Friday. Clue is preparing for an event and needs donations of the following items: glass jars with lids and smooth sides, clay or plastic pots no more than 5 inches tall, scraps or polar fleece approximately 12 by 14 inches, and artificial floral stems. Those donations will be collected through today only to the LPO office. Tomorrow, the Career Development Office will host a resume and cover letter review in the Student Union for community engagement points. Students can set up an appointment by contacting Amanda Roberts at aroberts@stevens.edu. And in news across America and more locally, the renowned case charging Ryan Ferguson for the murder of Kent Heitholt here in Columbia back in 2001 has been overturned. An appeals court in Kansas City vacated the conviction for the 29-year-old man imprisoned for more than a decade for a crime he has maintained his innocence for the entire time. In 2005, a court charged both Ferguson and Charles Erickson, both 19 at the time, with the robbing and killing of the Columbia Daily Tribune sports editor as he left his office on Halloween night. Ferguson's conviction relied heavily on Erickson's testimony, claiming he had recalled dreams several years later, indicating the two had been involved in Heitholt's murder. Erickson has since recanted that statement, along with an eyewitness's testimony. The case gained national attention through Good Morning America and 48 Hours Mystery, and just recently the documentary television series on MTV called World of Jenks followed the story as Ferguson made his appeal. Now the Missouri Western District Court of Appeals handed down its opinion yesterday, stating the prosecutors withheld evidence from Ferguson's defense attorneys that could have aided him during his trial. The state has 2 weeks to file a written election to retry Ferguson. If they fail to do so, Ferguson will be a free man. Ferguson's attorney, Kathleen Zellner, filed a motion yesterday seeking his release on bond pending that decision to retry him. And much of the world today continues to talk about the mayor out of Toronto. Yesterday in a press conference, Rob Ford admitted after countless months of denial that he smoked crack cocaine. The rumors began after the Toronto Star first reported of a video allegedly showing the mayor in the act. But the story became much more credible when the Toronto police confirmed the ownership of that video. This isn't the first blemish on Ford's image. In previous years, he's been thrown out of a Toronto Maple Leafs hockey game for being drunk and belligerent. He groped a politician at a community fundraiser and was asked to stop coaching a high school football team because of a violent confrontation with one of the players. However, the mayor refuses to step down from his post. He claims he's not an addict and was never lying, going on to say that no one was asking him the right questions. And in the limelight this week, where we highlight the most talked about entertainment news on it, Jessica Langford follows the story of one of the more controversial men in the hip-hop game. And Jessica, what's Chris Brown in the spotlight for this time?
Chris Brown is at it again. Apparently last weekend, Chris went to Howard University's homecoming, and while there got into some type of altercation. It's not quite clear at this time who was all involved. However, this event adds another layer to his probation from the previous Rihanna incident, leaving some to wonder about his fate in court. He appeared in a Washington, D.C. court the following day where he received a misdemeanor charge. After he released a statement saying he would enter rehab, but at this time it is still unclear what he will be treated for in rehab. He is due back in court sometime this month, so we will continue to follow this story and keep you updated with those details. In the music world, VH1 is known for showcasing those up-and-coming artists, and now those featured will perform in their own official concert. That's right, VH1 will begin hosting the You Oughta Know concert. This concert highlights the talents of Emily Sande, Johnny Swim, and him, just to name a few. They will have a live stream on VH1.com next Monday on November 11th at 8 p.m. But if you missed the concert live, it will re-air November 21st at 9 p.m. Be sure to check that out. And hitting theaters this Friday, Thor: The Dark World is the sequel in the journey of Thor. This time, the movie features a more personal adventure when a dark evil emerges that neither Odin or Asgard can stand. This journey also reunites him with Jane Foster, played by Natalie Portman, and forces him to sacrifice everything to save mankind. Starring Chris Hemsworth as Thor, this movie is a must-see, so don't miss out. That's all for this week's entertainment in the Limelight.
Thank you, Jessica. And in our weather headlines this week, Lane Wallace has been tracking all of the cold weather and all of the rain and has more on what we can expect for the next 7 days. Lane.
Thanks, Angel. I hope everyone carried their umbrellas and wore their rain boots this morning because we are in for another rainy day here at Stevens College. Your high for today is 45 with a 90% chance of morning showers, but be careful if you're traveling tonight. The low is 32, so the roads could get a little icy. For your Thursday, expect a high of 56 and sunny, and to start your weekend on Friday, expect a high of 59 and mostly cloudy. For your Saturday, it'll be a beautiful day to adventure out and enjoy the beautiful leaves. The high is 62 with a low of 36. And for your Sunday, if you just want to stay in or write that paper you've been putting off, expect a high of 59. Looking into your next week, on Monday, we're going to reach a high of 58 with a low of 46 and partly cloudy. And rounding off your week, on Tuesday, we'll reach a high of 49 with a 30% chance of rain. Keep sending those puppy pictures my way along with the changing weather at Lane_Wallace or Stevens_Life, and it could be featured on air.
Hey guys, though concerts are usually occur in the summer time, a few major acts have decided to hit the road this cold weather season. Superstars including Drake, Future, Justin Timberlake, Kanye West, and the Queen Bee herself, Beyonce, are all on tour. I've decided to open up my closet and show you a fashionable, trendy outfit that you could wear if you plan to see one of these acts. So here with me, my model is wearing a simple all-black outfit paired with a pop of color, neon, who says you can't wear neon in the winter, and paired with some cute, fun high heels. If you're going to see one of these acts or others that I did not mention, tag me on Instagram with your look at _Kobe Cheese. We will feature you on future shows, but before that, on its Olivia Odell shows us the perfect fall makeup in this week's tutorial.
Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how to do this nice fall smoldery makeup. In this look, the first thing you want to start with is a fresh face of makeup. Here I've already done my foundation, my concealer, my bronzing for contouring, and my blush. For this look, you'll need maroon color eyeshadow. For this look in particular, I'm using Lancome Spontaneous. To add a little bit more depth to the eye, you're going to take a matte brown eyeshadow and just blend above that line. Not going too far up, but just blend right in the crease. Now you either want to take a white or a cream color eyeshadow and just apply it to the tear duct area. This will make your eyes appear more brighter and not so sunken in and so dark. Now you want to take a black eyeliner and line the inner waterline, and then you want to put a little bit on the top too, and then you want to smudge it out. To smudge out the top of the eyeliner, I'm going to go back in with the maroon color that we used earlier. And then for the lower lash line, I'm going to go in with like a dark gray, not necessarily a black, but go in with a gray and just smudge. And then what you want to do is like brush with the color and drag down a little bit. Now that that's done, apply a good coat of mascara. For this look, either you can end with a nude lip, a glossy lip, or what I like to do personally, a really, really dark lip. And for this one, I'm using Revlon's Black Cherry. And this is your completed fall makeup look.
Again, that was on its Olivia Odell. We want to see how you use this tutorial. Tag us in your photos on Instagram or Twitter at Stevens_Life. Remember, your style is on the inside, so why not express it on the outside? Back to you, Angel.
All right, thank you, Colby and Olivia. Both of you are great. So now I'm here in the Sports Corner. Joined with me is Sports Information Director Adam Sampson, and he has been following all of the athletic teams for us this week, including basketball, which just started its season, and also the soccer team, which is ending there. So kind of tell us a little bit about that.
Yep, that's right, Angel. The Stevens soccer team wrapped up its 2013 season with a home match last Wednesday against Benedict and Springfield. It was a cold and rainy game. The visiting Bulldogs claimed a 15-0 victory, stealing the thunder on the Stars' senior day. That day, the team honored Polly Meitinger, the only player that's set to graduate after this year. Under second-year head coach Xander Kennedy, the Stevens soccer team finished 1-17 overall. And despite a winless mark in American Midwest Conference play, the Stars did knock down several barriers throughout the season. That included scoring the program's first goal, taking the first lead, and winning the first game in program history, which was quite exciting. Speaking with Coach Kennedy after the final match, he noted that there were several reasons to be optimistic for the future, as the team got dramatically better this season. However, he is still looking to raise the bar and really push the program forward. Stevens volleyball was on the road last week, first taking on Hannibal LaGrange in a key AMC matchup on Halloween night. With early leads in all 3 sets, the Stars couldn't hold off the Trojans, losing 25-23, 25-22, and 25-18. Freshman outside hitter Jan Nasamiyu led the offense with 8 kills. And coming off of a tough loss on Thursday, the Stars look to rebound and secure their second win in conference against Benedict and Springfield. Stevens certainly had his chances to put the game away with a 2-1 lead heading into the 4th set, but the Bulldogs rallied back, winning set 4 and edging the Stars in the 5th set 15-13. Freshman middle hitter Kerry Kircher had a career-high 20 kills in the match to go along with a pair of solo blocks, 2 assisted blocks, and 2 service aces. And rounding out the action from last week was basketball, which played its season opener on Friday night. Although the Stars got off to a slow start, they certainly picked up the pace in the second half and nearly doubled their first half score. Newcomer Selena Neal is certainly one to keep an eye on this season. The transfer from Crowder College led the Stars with 21 points on Friday, 14 of those coming in the second half. There's no midweek matchups for the Stars this week, but we will have a busy weekend ahead, starting with a pair of home volleyball matches at Silverthorne Arena on Friday and Saturday. Friday night, the Stars will take on Williams Baptist, followed by a 1 p.m. meeting on Saturday with Lyon College. On Friday, the basketball Stars will trek to Marshall, Missouri for a matchup at Missouri Valley College. And although the still says 5:30 start time, it did change yesterday, and it will be at 7 o'clock. And finally, our cross-country team will wrap up their season competing in the AMC Conference Championships on Friday out at Columbia's Cosmo Park. Competing for the Stars will be Kaylin Crane, Danny Kelly, Ivy Lewis, Emily Mendoza, and Tara Chronister. The 5K race is set to start at 1 p.m. on Friday.
All right, thank you, Adam. It's definitely a busy week ahead for our Stars, so we'll have to keep track, but you can always keep track of the scores and results of your favorite teams on the Stevens website by liking their athletic page and also keeping track at stevens.edu. Well, that's all the time we have this week. Be sure to check back next week for more news, and don't forget to visit our website for 24-hour access to your news at stevens.edu/stevenslife. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at Stevens_life. So follow us, like us, and tell us if news is happening where you are. Thank you for watching. We'll see you back here next week.